These runners approaches the seed. And here we go. We start off with the map to Ganon's Tower.
Well, they gotta know where they're eventually going, right?
I guess so. Problems is electing to go straight to Kakariko, the south route. Everybody else is heading north to go visit Uncle.
Well, this is boring.
Yeah, very, very synced beginnings. It's not what you'd like to see.
Tree pole, just hearts. Pretty useless for him right now. Problems getting trolled by this 50-50 bomb location.
Uncle gives a part of his heart.
0 for 3 on the 50-50 bomb location.
Yeah, this 50-50 is not paying off for Problems. Oh, that's a vanilla lamp.
That's pretty close.
Actually, I think that is in the base game one of the 3 spots the lamp can appear in.
Yep.
So just another piece of heart in the sanctuary. Problems checked the race game. I didn't see what was there. It was really quick.
Okay, so it looks like Final Form and Magus are doing the more open style strat, and Liminality is going off to do Houlihan.
Yep. And then Problems gave us a check in the library. It was another really quick check.
It was a mirror. I think it was a mirror in that library chest.
Interesting. Just a compass in the lumberjack. So not necessarily needing Aghanim yet. Oh, looks like we've got a bottle as well. So eLmaGus at least is going to be able to route in Sick Kid.
Probably going to farm some more bombs here.
Bomb farming is nice in Keysanity because you don't have the rupees for it all the time. And so far early, we haven't seen too much. That mirror in the library means we're going to be seeing boots at some point early.
So normally this doesn't happen, but the guys that did the Uncle into Sanctuary over to Darkwoods route got no rupees, no bombs. So they're kind of in trouble here compared to Problems and Liminality, who both did the bomb farming south of Grove.
That is the risk you take with that route, is if you don't get rupees, you don't get bombs, you're kind of in trouble. There is a bomb farming spot in Kakariko, which is another 50-50 spot. And I think that might be where Liminality is going. Oh no, Liminality has bombs. But Liminality did grab that bomb spot.
eLmaGus is just going to gamble here, and so is Final Form. They're just going to hope they pick up bombs in the outside chest.
That well is loaded. Hookshot and boots.
Yo. No bombs for eLmaGus or Final Form in Well or Thief set, though, so they're going to have to come back for these 2 locations later.
So that means that with those early boots, we also going to have that mirror right away.
That's convenient.
So early, we've got quite a bit of stuff, but no clear spot on where to go just yet beyond grabbing that mirror.
Yeah, it doesn't open anything. The lamp opens up 1 chest in the Logic in Eastern Palace, and that's about it.
And I think eLmaGus is going to go check the Bonk Rocks really quickly. Let's see if this pays off for eLmaGus. Oh, that does! That is the Moon Pearl.
It's good.
I imagine all the runners will eventually check that, but that is a very nice thing to get out of the way. Now, did eLmaGus actually head down to South Kakariko?
I don't think so.
So he doesn't know the mirror is in the library.
No.
Yeah, we'll have to see if he comes back for that. But he finds a cane in the dam. These runners are getting a...
It's giving him all these items they can't do anything with right now, but it's all eventual progression.
Exactly. Like, nothing helps you right now, but... Man, this is all stuff you want to see.
Yeah, it just means when they do get progression, the game's going to be just that much more wide open.
Which can be a problem later, because then you don't know where to go. Just a compass on the desert ledge. eLmaGus is likely going to go check Aghanim here quick. Or not Aghanim, Aghana. He must not have had any bombs.
Nope. Still, he hasn't had bombs the entire game.
Ow, man, that's gotta hurt. I think he's gotta go farm some bombs up at this point.
Yeah.
Brahms is heading south. He's gonna go into the dam, get his cane, as these other runners basically look at some other stuff that we've already seen. I think eLmaGus is gonna go check the library at this point and find his mirror.
Yep.
Yeah, that's it. Gonna be interesting to see where these go. Like, Problems is now gonna give us our first check on the south shore, the mini Moldorm cave. With Hookshot, that'll go down really fast. Final Form farmed up some bombs. Liminality's gonna get his Moon Pearl. eLmaGus gonna get more bombs.
These mini Moldorms are not cooperating. There we go.
Key to desert. Not much else, though.
Just another item they can't use right now.
So I think the next stop after this, unless Ice Rod Cave has something, is going to be to check out Eastern area, Saharsla Eastern. Or they could actually also go into Escape. The cane is somewhat of a weapon, but otherwise they're going to have to use bombs, though. And actually, I'm guessing Problems will probably head that way next, because he hasn't been to Uncle yet.
Yeah, that's a good point. So this is very interesting. They've literally gotten all these items, and all they've gotten is that dark room opened up in Eastern Palace from that lamp. Everything else is pretty much useless.
I think Problems is setting up a water walk here. Because I saw he ran along the edge of the Ice Rod Cave, and if you do it just right, you can set up a water walk.
So this looks like he's going to check Hobo.
Yeah, I don't think he got the water walk properly. But he can still go check Hobo here quick. And I think that Silver's on Lake Hylia Island.
Yes, it is. Magus going back in to clean up those bomb locations here in CAC.
Meanwhile, Liminality isn't even my final form, both heading through the South Shore. Oh, we got a key on the Hobo to pod. That's the first pod key. So, Liminality will have an extra option here with that Moon Pearl to fake flipper up to the waterfall if he chooses.
So yeah, we're really looking at Hyrule Castle and Eastern right now. Possible locations of progression.
Problem's is going to check the Bonk Rocks, get his Moon Pearl. Yeah, so far it's basically everyone's just been going back across areas everyone else has.
And I'm really surprised no one's made that early Eastern play. Would have paid off here most likely.
Problems is going back into Kakariko? I must not have checked Sick Kid.
Ooh, Liminality gets crabs.
Oh, that fairy comes in handy though. Not where you want to use that fairy, but it'll save you a little time at least.
Fairies cure crabs.
I guess so. Problems is going to be the first runner to head into the eastern area. What does Saharsla have for us today? Well, he has some information that Hera's a green pendant. And he gives us a Bombos medallion.
More progression we cannot use at this time. Where's the good stuff? The glove.
I think it's got to be an Eastern. Liminality is giving us a water walk here. See if he finds anything interesting. No, not really much in that waterfall cave. I'm a little surprised he didn't go check what was on the Zora ledge. He couldn't get it, but he would have at least been able to get that info. Yeah, Problems is in Eastern now. Let's see what he finds. Final Form is also heading into Eastern after checking Saharsla. Liminality, the same. I'm guessing eLmaGus will join them right after that. I know eLmaGus is probably gonna. Looks like he's gonna fake flipper to the north.
Another 50 rupee drop in Eastern.
I have to think something's in Eastern. I don't know what, but you've only got 2 more chests in Logic. Actually, Liminality is electing to go into Hyrule Castle.
Did Liminality do Sahasrara and then leave?
I think so.
Okay. Probably, since he's got the mirror, plans on checking Eastern later when he does pod.
Could pay off unless something is in pod or Eastern that you need to progress.
And so far we haven't seen anything in Eastern. Just a big 20 on Zora's Ledge.
Yeah, where is that item that's going to open up this seed?
And nothing in that chest for Eastern, so we just got 1 more chest. If it's not there, it's either Hyrule Castle or, I guess, Agnes Cave. Oh wait, Magus was going to do Agnes Cave, but didn't have a bomb.
Yep. All right, let's see what Problems finds in this last room. Just a 20. So the answer must be in Hyrule Castle then.
Yeah, just a note, Zora is technically not in Logic without Flippers or the Power Glove right now, so they don't have to worry about farming rupees quite yet.
But there we go. There is our progression. Liminality picks up the flute in Hyrule Castle.
It's going to open up Hera.
That does. That opens up the first 2 chests in Hera. It opens up a couple other locations. Actually, it opens up only 2 other locations on the mountain, but that is at least progression.
Yeah.
And we get a small key to Skullwoods in Zelda's cell. With that lamp, though, he can go check the escape dark chest. Problems is heading down to the basement. He'll get his flute shortly. Final Form's joining them in Hyrule Castle as well. eLmaGus looks like he's fallen a little behind the rest, but it's still early.
Yeah, those bomb woes in the beginning, and then running over to Desert's area without the ability to pick anything up.
Yeah, that's unfortunately. That's just one of those just mistakes you make. Just got to go with it. So yeah, Liminality is likely going to go activate that flute and head straight up to Death Mountain, mostly because it's about all you can do at this point. So this seed has really just forced our runners into a pretty linear path so far, giving them a ton, but not giving them much to do.
And the flute actually doesn't change a whole lot. It's only 4 locations. Hopefully it leads to something, though.
Liminality is getting the duck right now. Final Form and Problems have each got their flutes. And Liminality is fluting away. I guess, yep, right up to Death Mountain. Oh yeah, I forgot. Old Man is... You can get to Old Man, so there's 5 locations up here right now.
They got the hook shot. I forgot all about the hook shot.
Oh, you are right.
They can do the whole thing.
You are completely right. That's 13 locations.
It's just like I was so fogged by all the items they were getting that didn't open anything at the time. I just kind of forgot about them all.
Yep. So there's a ton to do up here right now. They're definitely going to find their next piece up here. So Liminality is heading up towards Hera first, which makes sense. This is probably the better way to route it since you don't have a hammer. Now, we're still looking for 2 pieces of progression to get to Dark World. We're still far, far away from Aghanim. Now he's going to pick up this key. Let's see if it's anything good. The pod key.
I think that's the second pod key we've seen.
Yep. And Probs is going to give us an Agina check.
Yeah, if they do find progression on Death Mountain, this could be a location that gets left out. So if it is something important, that could be a little trolly for some of our other runners.
Well, let's see. Oh, power gloves!
That's either going to be the last location they check to get their Dark World access, or they're going to get Dark World access without that and not get Titan's bits for a really long time.
Oh, man. And then Liminality finds the hammer in Hera.
Coming fast and furious.
So we have Dark World access now. Well, at least we know where Dark World access is. And depending on when those runners go to... Oh, there's a Swamp Palace small key in the back of Escape as well.
So we're flippers away from doing Swamp, too.
So we know where all Dark World access is, but with those power gloves that oh, Liminality. Ow, that hurts.
A giant cricket or whatever the heck that thing is.
Won't set him back too far. But, I mean, with everything we've got so far, I gotta give Problems a big advantage for finding those gloves at Agena. Because, like you said, it's going to be a long time before some of these runners check that. And if there are, like you said, also, if there's power gloves up here, that is going to be such a hard location to go back to check.
Yeah, they won't be checking it normally until they get Titan's bits, because that's when you go to the Mire area with the equipment that they have. And then they would just kind of route in Agena. Oh, and actually eLmaGus is going to clean that location up.
Okay, so yeah, he'll grab his power gloves as well. Though he probably won't be the happiest to see them. Oh, and there is the other glove. Oh, man.
Oh, wow. So Final Form and Liminality might be in a little bit of trouble.
Final Form does give us a quick map check. Thieves Town is a crystal. A red crystal as well. We got an ice rod up here in Paradox Cave. Our first big key to Ice Palace. Blue mail and another GT key. Wow, this seed so far.
Yeah, this is incredible. Now, it not only gave them all those items that didn't go anywhere, but then it gave them literally every Dark World access item.
On the other side, though, they don't have a lot in terms of keys yet.
Right. They can go everywhere, but they can't get in through any locked doors.
Now, Problems is heading to East Death Mountain, but by not going to Hera, he's not going to get his hammer.
Yeah, I'm probably hoping to find like a Hera Big Key or something over here. And it's not an outside chance. So I'll probably end up going back up to Hera once he's done with this. Actually, no. Because Problems will have Titan's mitts after this.
He will.
So he might not go back to Hera to get that hammer. So it's possible that eLmaGus is the only one that's going to have the hammer and the Titan's mitts.
So this is interesting. Like, each runner is getting basically trolled by this seed in a different way.
I mean, the seed's just trying to give them all the items in the entire game in the first 30 minutes, but they gotta actually go pick them up.
Yeah, absolutely. Liminality is going to give us our first check into Hype Cave.
Well, Magus is going the hookshot bridge also.
Oh, man.
So everyone's getting trolled.
So we're going to have two runners with Titan's mitts and no hammer, and two runners with power gloves and hammer, but no Titan's mitts.
And they're in just really bad locations. They're kind of orphaning Agena's cave, and the other guys are orphaning off Hera.
Not much in pod, except two pod keys in Hype Cave. Now, Problems in eLmaGus will also have the option to check Dark Death Mountain right away, which is an extra 6 locations.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
And we also get our information. Misery Mire is our other red crystal. And Problems is heading straight to Dark Death Mountain.
I guess maybe Problems will head over to Hera in the Dark World and then Mirror and do it. That's a possibility. But I mean, with Dark World access and Mirror, Mirror, Flute, Dark World access, there's so many other locations you can go to.
Speaking of Hera, though, Liminality just found the small key to Hera on Stumpy.
Not going back up to Hera anytime soon for that. That and half magic. I mean, it's just giving him everything.
And Problems just found another pod key. I think that's either 4 or 5 pod keys we know now. Also going to check Turtle Rock here. It's Ether. If that had been Bombos, it would have been really tempting to make an early Turtle Rock dive.
Yeah, right now they've got 3 pod keys. So it's kind of looking like it's pointing them in that direction. Is that a fire rod?
That's a fire rod in Hookshot Cave.
Literally giving them everything. They don't have a sword, though. That's kind of unfortunate.
Problems has got to be careful here with these Lionels.
So it looks like Problems is going to make that Hera play.
That's good for him. He'll get his hammer. Liminality is going to head into the Dark World from Kakariko.
So what do they do when they get to Dark World? They got Fire Rod. They could do all of Skull Woods. I mean, they've got Hammer and Mitts and Mirror, so they could do the entire Blacksmith route.
They can do the Blacksmith. They can't do Skull Woods yet, or all of it, because they don't have a sword.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure it's going to give them like 3 sword upgrades in like 5 minutes here. I mean, it's kind of the way things are going. I'm just kind of expecting it at this point.
I mean, it might, but this also could be one of those scenes where it's like, okay, we're going to give you everything except a sword.
I mean, they need a sword for Skull Woods, so let's just put a sword in Skull Woods, right? It's a plando.
That could work. Liminality finds the Desert Palace big key. Actually, we have desert access at this point.
We do, and that's the big key and the small key, so they can full clear that.
Yeah, especially with the Fire Rod, the big key, the small key, mid upgrades, and Mirror, the desert's accessible and full clearable. But they also have the boost. So the seed...
There it is. I told you they were going to put a sword in Swamp. Or Skull Woods, I mean.
Yep, you did tell me that, yeah. I'll give that one to you.
Problem is, Liminality doesn't have Fire Rod?
Yep, Liminality does not have the Fire Rod. That was in Hookshot Cave.
Yeah. So Magus and Problems are going to be able to do Skull Woods. Final Form, again, is also suffering from... didn't do Agnes Cave, so won't be able to get that Fire Rod either. Problems has 5 pod keys.
This seed is definitely pointing towards with five small pod keys and the hammer jump. I mean, they have more than enough to clear it. Though I'm guessing they'll want the bow before they head there.
You know how this seed is, right? You know where the bow's gonna be.
In pod?
Sure, why not?
I suppose so.
Unfortunately, flippers can't be in a dungeon that requires flippers. That doesn't make any sense. But if they could do it, they would.
They just expect you to sequence break into ice. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not that hard. Was that a death warp by eLmaGus, or no? I don't think that was death warp because he's not in a dungeon.
Yeah, using that ferry to do Spike Cave. It's a sequence break, but Ice Palace.
Not much in there. Final Form's also going through Skull Woods. Won't be able to get too far though, because no fire rod.
Magus is going back up here, and I'm not sure what for.
Did he check Spectacle Rock Cave?
Ah. Did not.
He might have just been routing that in later. Problems is going to give us our first check of the blacksmith. Most likely a quick dash through hammer pegs as well. Liminality is giving us a graveyard ledge check.
Cash money.
I think that's the first significant chunk of change they've gotten this seed.
And Problem's taking advantage of the hammer and mitts early, just full clear this.
But Problems didn't hammer dash. That was a little surprising.
Forgot he's got the boots, I guess.
He finds a big key though. Big key to Meyer. Which eLmaGus just went to, gave us a quick check. I did not see what the medallion was. That was really quick.
I think it was Bombos. So that means they have access to Meyer.
That's another thing they can clear right now then.
And so Magus didn't get that big key to Misery Mire, but with that big key, the whole thing's in logic. But I am expecting eLmaGus to just get the 6 chests that are available in here. Might do Desert, although where was that Desert big key? It didn't look like he picked that up. It was in Skull Woods.
Yeah, Desert big key was in Skull Woods. But he's going to check Desert quick anyway.
This is just really putting on display how brutal Keysanity is. Everybody's got things that the other people need based on how they're routing things in.
I think Problems is going to go into... He might go... Well, he can't. He doesn't know he can clear Skull Woods. Once he gets the sword, he'll be able to. So this is kind of good routing for Problems, because he could complete Skull Woods right now. Get... Oh, no, never mind. He's not going into Skull Woods.
Faked us out.
I was going to say, if he went into Skull Woods, he can get that Desert big key and then knock out Desert and Meyer back to back. And he does... I think he knows... Because we've seen the Desert map. I think he knows both are crystals as well.
There's Cane of Burna and Right Side Desert.
That's our second Turtle Rock key, I think.
Liminality is now on Master Sword. Via the chest game.
Oh yeah, Problems also picked up his fighter sword there.
Yeah.
So he can go through Skull Woods right now if he wants to. He's going to do the first 4 of Thieves Town first, along with Final Form. We haven't seen these yet. Some more sync here as Liminality goes in as well. So far, first 2 chests in Thieves Town, nothing really in them.
I wonder if Magus is going to use this opportunity to route right up to Pod from where he is.
Well, let's see. He's heading north.
Yes, it looks like he is.
This could be a good play for him if Pod has something. Unfortunately, Thieves Town front does not pay off.
Yeah, I remember back when Magus was playing Open a lot, around the Open tournament time, he would go into Pod frequently without the items needed to clear it incredibly early. So it doesn't really surprise me that he likes going into Pod.
Yeah, and the game's logic does like to put a bunch of items in Pod.
Yeah. And again, 5 keys means they can get pretty much everything in there, except for those bow-locked locations.
Yeah. You know, Final Form is actually going to make the same play.
Yeah, it just seems like there has to be something in here. I mean, the bow would have to be in a super trolley location for that to also be part of it.
You know, while Problems is going through Skullwoods, I'm guessing he's going to full clear this, except for the big chest, which he doesn't have a key for.
Yeah, blue mail, half magic, and fire rod, and then the hammer should make this relatively easy. And of course, he's got master sword too, so should have everything he needs to do this Mothula fight.
Liminality does go to Agena and get his Titansmiths. And Liminality does have the Desert Big Key. Did not get the Meyer Big Key yet, though. But Liminality is going to head back over, see if he elects to do Meyer or Desert. And it looks like he's going to go for Desert. Yeah, Problems is going to be the first runner to go into the back of Skullwoods. And he's going to go straight to Mothula. Most likely get that front chest on the way back.
Map for Pod inside Pod. So they're going to have to leave to know if they're supposed to be here or not.
And Ether in Pod. There is our Turtle Rock access.
Wow. So I think we're 2 items away from item go mode. We just need a bow and the flippers. And technically the flippers might not even be required.
It's possible. Looks like we know that Turtle Rock is a pendant. And Hera's a pendant.
So we do know about Turtle Rock. I see. Final Form.
Someone just... Final Form just grabbed the bow.
What? I was joking, guys. Poe wasn't actually supposed to be in Pod. Alright, so we're 1 item away from item go mode. What is going on?
I think that with... there's a big key to Skullwoods there. So I think with the knowledge we have, the flippers are required because either swamp or ice is at least required. So you could forego the flippers if swamp is a pendant and there's nothing in there, and you sequence break ice.
This could be what's the record for Keysanity? Is that a record here?
I have no idea.
The runners are good enough to make it happen with the right seed, for sure.
Yeah, the bow being in Pod, that's definitely could be something that trips up the runners.
Yeah, I'm guessing they're just gonna finish this dungeon.
With 5 keys, and I think both of them electing the hammer jump, they can do it right now. I think they also picked up the cape in Skullwoods. Which doesn't look like it's really needed because there was just a single arrow on the bumper ledge.
So is Liminality going to be the first one to finish Desert?
Looks like it, heading to Landmola right now. Final Form finds a small key to Thieves Town.
So that makes Thieves Town fully clearable.
We haven't found the big key yet, Thieves Town.
Final Form not finishing Pod.
Oh, sorry, you're right. We do have the big key to Thieves Town.
We don't have the Pod big key. I forgot about that.
That's right. You can't do it without the pod big key. And Chad is saying hold our horses on a record time because they want the Ganon's Tower big key on the pedestal.
Ooh.
And we definitely don't know where that is yet, but I mean, pedestal is not out of play yet. But let's not think about that right now. Let's focus on more positive things.
I'm curious to see who's going to make that first play into Mire. Or Turtle Rock, I guess, for that matter. We do know about the medallions for both of those. Did eLmaGus not grab Ether in Pod?
I thought he did.
We'll see the next time he opens up his menu.
The Problems is gonna is gonna sequence break into Ice Palace.
Interesting play.
I'm guessing he's gambling on the bow not being in Pod. Though it is a really interesting play because you've got access to Mire, you've got access to Desert.
Magus just needs to find his swords. He's been putting off West Dark World for an incredibly long time.
Yeah, no swords yet. We know he's got to go to Village of Outcasts and Skull Woods.
And the likely places for those slippers right now are probably Mire or Turtle Rock. And then once they get those, I mean, that opens up all of Swamp and all of Ice into Logic.
Problem misses the bombs jump. He's gonna have to do this again. And oh, he's low on bombs.
So he's gonna have one bomb to do the Ice Palace bomb jump.
He's got to he's got to do the Stealthos first. He'll get a bomb here, but if he doesn't hit he's got to make sure he gets both Stealthos in one bomb.
Oh, that was nice. I haven't actually seen that strat done before. I was really worried for a second.
Oh, I guess we missed something else again. Pod is our last pendant.
Oh. Well, he's got to get this bomb jump. It looks like he's got it with his last bomb. So now he just has to not fall off the ledge. It's easier to fall off the ledge than you might think.
Playing it a little safe, but he gets through it.
Yeah. Alright, so eLmaGus is finally going to get a sword here. Oh, now that I think about it, when you said why didn't he hammer dash, did he not have a sword, whoever did that at that time? Because they can't hammer dash.
Oh, you're right. He probably did not have a sword at that point.
So actually, now eLmaGus is probably going to do Skull Woods. Probably going to get his Mire big key here. Get his two swords. This should be... everyone's pretty close right now.
Problems is desperately trying to get that bomb with his hook shot. Liminality taking the chest for a walk. Final Form is clearing out Thieves Town.
Yeah, so far, Thieves Town hasn't had anything.
Well, Magus can give us our first check on the bat. Technically not in logic, but with the mushroom and cane, he can do a fake powder glitch.
Problems picked up Tempered Sword in Vanilla Big Key and Ice.
And what is going on with Final Form's game?
I don't remember what caused that glitch. I used to know.
This is a very psychedelic fight. So he does get through it.
Someone who knows more about glitches might be able to answer in chat.
He does pick up a crystal from Thieves Town.
Do you not adjust your television? See, everything's fixed.
According to chat, it's a glitch if you menu at the exact same moment that blind changes.
Liminality making the first Zora check. How about a sword upgrade?
So we now know where all 4 swords are. Well, it wasn't quite the 5 minutes you predicted, but
15. Yeah, it was pretty close.
so now that we know what everything is, we can start. Oh, Final Form got his Titan's mitts and was not happy where they were. So now that we know where all the crystals and pendants are, we can kind of start seeing what we still need to finish the seed.
Not much. 2 big keys, right? Just Eastern Palace and Desert, and then of course the flippers we still need.
We need the Eastern Big Key, we need the Ganon's Tower Big Key, and we need the flippers, yeah.
Yes. And we have that Desert Big Key, that's right. Yeah, so this is really fast. Problem's doing Cold Stare now. Should be fairly easy with Half Magic, Fire Rod, and Tempered Sword.
Yeah, he made it look like nothing.
There's a big key. Oh, it's Dahera.
Well, opens up a couple more locations, but not the big key you wanted to see. Liminality making first trip into pod, get his bow and a couple other items here.
So we're still kind of waiting for someone to make a play into TR or Meyer. I mean, it's given them everything they need to get into those dungeons, and generally that's a signal from the logic to go into those. Because the logic essentially gave you the items to get into those dungeons, so it's possible that something's in there. Probable, even.
Yeah, and I think Problems is going to go Desert Meyer here. eLmaGus gets a Master Sword. He's finally caught up with everybody else there.
Yeah, and he probably realizes these swords were really available, and he just didn't get them as fast, so he probably knows that everyone else has had swords. These Gibdos are a problem when you don't have Boomerang to stun him.
Why is... Oh, he's out of magic. He can't use Cane of Samaria.
Yeah.
Yeah, Problems is going to dip into Desert. He can full clear this right now. He's also
So say Final Form's finally picking up his Fire Rod.
Yep. Liminality's the only one who's not made the trip to Dark Death Mountain so far. Now, Final Form's going to see Turtle Rock. Will he go in? Looks
I
like
would say
he's
so.
going.
Yeah.
Looks like he's going to.
It's a pendant, so he's probably not too worried about not being able to full clear it. But he does have access to quite a few chests.
With 2 keys, you can get to Laser Bridge if you steal the 1 key from the Pokey. But
It doesn't have the TR big key, though. So it could be vanilla, though.
oh yeah, you're right. So he can't get to Laser Bridge. So there's only, I think, like 4 or 5 chests you can really get to then.
Yeah, the Fire Rod makes it an attractive play, for sure. Like I was saying, it did give him the medallion to get in here, so it's not unreasonable to think there's something.
And I guess technically we also don't know if Final Form knows if this is a pendant or not. We know what it is because our trackers keep track of it, but we don't track what the runners know. And eLmaGus is taking on Mothula. Liminality continuing through Pod. Problems will go take out Mothula here, or not Mothula, Landmola here in a minute.
Very nicely executed hammer strats on Mothula there.
Absolutely. eLmaGus gets his first crystal. All the runners have 1 crystal except Problems, who has 2 and is about to get to 3. So far, Turtle Rock's not really paying off.
Yeah, I might just be getting debated here. And if that's the case, then I really strongly hope someone goes to Meyer. It's starting to look like the next play.
I think Problems is going to go to Meyer right after he's done with Landmola. I'd be very surprised if he doesn't.
Yeah, Meyer's the bonus crystal, too. So they already have the ability to complete Thieves Town if they haven't done so already. So it's Pyramid Fairy is coming into logic here.
These Chain Chomps are getting Final Form. Oh, and he misses.
Down to
He's
1.
down to, yeah, he's at 1 heart. He's got to be very careful. Yeah, Problems is going into Meyer.
Yep, fine. Oh,
But he still has his fairy. Unfortunately, it was just bombs. But the Problems is going to give us our first look into Meyer. Yeah, eLmaGus is going to clear out Thieves Town. He hasn't been in here yet, so he can do it in 1 go.
Yeah, this is kind of the benefit of him putting off West Dark World. When he does get over here, you can pretty much full clear everything in 1 shot.
Yeah. Liminality's going through Eastern, but I don't think he has the Eastern big key yet, so he can't finish it.
Yeah, he kind of set this up when he decided to do Sahasrar's hut and then just kind of bail out.
And that's our flippers in Meyer.
Oh boy. So that's item go mode, or item no mode for us. Problem still hasn't made that dip into pod for the bow.
We do know at least a dip is required in there, because you do need the bow for Eastern. And there's Turtle Rock big key.
So we're just missing Eastern big key?
Eastern and Ganon's Tower.
This is one of those. One out of every 2 seeds is a Ganon's Tower Big Key Troll seed, I think. And this is one of those.
Yeah, it feels like it. Fortunately, I don't think Final Form has found anything in Turtle Rock, and without the big key, can't go any further.
He sprints right into the door and gets upset and then leaves.
So unfortunately, that play did not pay off for him.
Yeah, Meyer's the play. For sure.
By the way, wait a second. I want to give a shout out to our trackers for today. We're helping really keep us on our toes here because it's hard to keep track of all 4 screens, so having them has really helped. And our trackers for today are Dragon Strike 1988 and Phyllian. So it doesn't look like we've seen much else in Meyer yet. But with the flippers, Swamp is completely open now. And that is a crystal.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if Problems didn't head right there after this.
Yeah, and I mean, in the top matchup, Problems is opening a pretty big lead over Final Form.
Yeah, those late mitts probably hurting Final Form the most.
And the biggest thing for Final Form, hopefully, at this point, is that it takes Problems a while to go into pod to get that bow.
Yeah, especially if Problems... Actually, Problems won't know if it's a pendant or not. Because the map was in pod.
He might know based on what everything else he's gotten, but it's unlikely he does know for sure.
Just have to be a little careful here. 1.5 hearts. Pretty deep into Meyer.
Oh yeah, and he doesn't have bow or the silver arrows.
Yeah, no powder either.
He could fake powder if he wanted to, but he'd have to use up all of his magic. He might still have his fairy from earlier.
Oh, that's a good point. It's like Liminality also going to make the Meyer play.
So it's going to be interesting to see how Problems handles this boss, and he's down to half a heart now. He's going to use Burna strats.
Yeah, this should actually work out, at least for this first phase.
Burna and Bootstrats.
And just before he runs out of magic, finishes off Vitreous.
That was impressive to watch. And that is Problem's 4th crystal already. Not even an hour in, he's got 4 crystals.
Yeah, another thing Problems needs to do pod for was the Thieves Town Big Key.
That is true as well.
So it might be a while before he decides to do that, now that he's got Swamp access.
It looks like he's going to go straight to Swamp. And the other thing that with Problems on his side is that with the Turtle Rock Big Key, with the Hera Big Key and Small Key, he might elect to try those before pod.
Yeah, it's quite a few locations. Especially like you were saying earlier, with that Turtle Rock Big Key, you can get all the way to Laser Bridge. It's a lot of chests up there. Could very well believe that Bo is in Turtle Rock. It's not a place that Bo avoids exactly.
Yeah, like I think even as we said at the beginning of the seed, you don't expect items. Well, I mean, Bo's not vanilla in pod, but you don't expect an item you need to clear a dungeon in a dungeon.
Right.
So yeah, even though, like we said, Problems has a big lead over Final Form, this race is far from over. The Problems does give us our first check in the swamp. We start the bottle.
Magus getting the 1 cycle on Landmo thanks to that Fire Red.
Oh, and actually, chat makes a good point. Ether is in pod, so he can't go to Turtle Rock.
Oh, saved.
Yeah, Magus gets Landmola down. That's his 3rd crystal.
And will now probably make that Mire play. Oh, still has items left in Desert.
Yeah, I don't think he checked the big chest yet.
So we're on the hunt for a couple of big keys here. We'll see if Problems comes across those while he's in the swamp.
We're gonna have 3 runners in pod, or not 3 runners in Mire, while Problems is in swamp, and he just found a vanilla swamp big key.
It's not too bad.
It definitely means he will not have to come back in here now. He can get everything. So yeah, we got Problems making quick work through swamp. The rest of our runners working through Mire. So just to kind of reset us up where we are at this point, in our 2 matchups, the winner of Problems and Final Form gets a spot in the bracket. The loser is not out of the tournament, but they will have to play in the tiebreaker race next week. Between Liminality and eLmaGus, the winner will make it to the tiebreaker race, while the loser will be done with the tournament. So a lot is on the line here.
We'll see how Liminality decides to kill Vitreous. We'll use cape strats. Just cape and then slash your sword as fast as you can.
Yep. I think with cape strats on Vitreous, as long as you're slashing your sword, you don't use magic.
Yeah, it's something like that.
Should I make you another little interesting point? Problems has had problems with bombs this whole seed. There's some bombs.
How convenient.
So he's gonna go to the back of swamp now. Let's see if he's got it. We find anything back there.
Looks like Liminality also going to make the swamp play and Final Form as well. No.
No.
Final Form's going to do... Oh, I thought he was going to do Fat Fairy. Wait, Final Form was in Mire, right? Did he finish it?
I don't think... I don't know if he did. No, I don't think he did. I didn't see him on Vitreous. He doesn't have the Mire big key.
Oh, that's a problem. Again, those late mitts. That Mire big key is in hammer pegs, which is mitts locked. So those late mitts that he got is really hurting him this seed. He's going to be able to get the silver arrows if he wants, though, which would make Vitreous easier. But it looks like he's not going to do that.
Problems is taking on Argus. This will be a really quick fight. And he one cycles it. Unfortunately, no real progression in Swamp, though. Except we did get the shovel.
Yeah, that counts.
You never know. That big key could be buried.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe I'll go check that right now. Now would be a great time to do Pyramid Fairy, but Problems hasn't done Thieves Town yet. Probably because he had on pod to get that big key.
I think he's going to go pick up his silver arrows.
Yeah, there's really not another good time to do it since he's already done Ice Palace, so now is probably the best time for him to pick them up.
I actually wouldn't have been surprised if he completely skipped silver arrows, but since he's over here, might as well grab them. It's quicker to grab the silver arrows now than to do silverless strats later.
Yeah.
Yeah, Problems is going to go check a couple of these areas that other runners have checked. His eLmaGus takes on Vitreous. Liminality is continuing to work through Swamp. Final Form is going to Catfish. I don't think we've seen Catfish yet. So eLmaGus grabs his 4th crystal. And he'll likely head to Ice next. Or not Ice, to Swamp next.
Yeah, I think nice routing for Magus right now is to do Swamp Palace and then go right up to Fat Fairy. He's the only one that's going to be able to do that, actually, because, again, Final Form didn't have the Meyer Big Key, and the other two haven't done Thieves Town yet.
So let's see if Catfish pays off here for Final Form. Oh, it's Powder. I guess Liminality had been up to Catfish, because he's got Powder too.
Final Form does have flippers, correct? Yes, he does.
Digspot just had a heart container, and Problems decides he doesn't need it. And Problems is going to finally go to Pod.
Yeah, so this is going to be great for him. In fact, he might do... No, he doesn't have the Eastern Big Key, so that's unfortunate. So this isn't going to be... He's not really saving any time by putting off Pod this long.
Yeah, and now we got to start to wonder where that Eastern Big Key is. Because we've checked a lot of places at this point.
Yeah, we haven't seen deeper into Turtle Rock, which is available to us now. So places like Laser Bridge, Fat Fairy hasn't been checked.
Yeah.
I don't think any of those troll locations are going to get missed. I think Ice Palace Big Chest was checked. Swamp Palace Big Chest was checked. Thieves Town Big Chest was checked. So it doesn't seem like it's going to be too trolly.
Yeah, I think our options for right now are either back of Turtle Rock, top of Hera, or Pyramid Fairy.
Why not? How about Pedestal?
I believe Pedestal is still in play for that Eastern Palace Big Key, as well as the Ganis Tower Big Key.
Yeah. Or everyone's favorite book on Pedestal and Go Mode item on one of the tablets.
In fact, looking through the items, for Pedestal to be in play, we need the Pod Big Key and one more Turtle Rock Small Key. technically we need 2 more Turtle Rock small keys, I guess.
Yeah.
And problems with waiting as long as he did for this, he has all 6 keys, so he doesn't need to worry about anything.
There's his ether. See if he gets baited up to Turtle Rock with all the sweet TR goodies he's received up to this point.
What? Oh, he forgot that he doesn't have the bow.
Yeah, he hasn't gotten the bow yet, so he dropped a bomb and then mirrored out.
He's not in the position to be wasting bombs with his bomb management this season.
Yeah, good point.
He is going to get his bow here very shortly, though. Final Form is working through Skull Woods. Liminality is on Argus. eLmaGus will be joining quickly on there. Alright, let's see how Final Form handles this Mothula fight. Liminality made quick work of Argus.
Quick Mothula, too.
Yep. And that'll be both of their 3rd crystals, I think? Yep.
Yeah, so Final Form's best chance is that Problems gets sucked into Turtle Rock and there's nothing on Laser Bridge. And hopefully Final Form can avoid Turtle Rock. That's probably his best chance of getting back into this race.
So with only Master Sword, eLmaGus is going to have a little bit of a slower fight here. And Problems gets his bow.
Argus is really being annoying for Magus, but he does get all the buffs down.
eLmaGus is through Swamp and he'll have his 5th crystal. He'll likely head to Ice Palace next.
Yeah, we'll see if he goes to Ice Palace or decides to detour to Fat Fairy first.
Oh, you're right. He might choose detour first.
He skipped left side.
I guess he did. Yeah, you're right. And Problems is done in Pod for now. Likely going to head straight to Thieves Town.
It's like a mushroom turn in first. So Liminality doing Ice Palace. Will be the first one to do it in logic. And pretty much picks up a crystal and a butter sword. I think that was it in here. Oh, Liminality doesn't have Fire Rod yet. Still hasn't been back up to Dark Death Mountain. That's going to slow him down a little bit.
Yep, still in logic this way, but it does take a little more time. And it does make Cold Stare a little harder. Yeah, more checking of locations. Though, I think this is going to be our first check of the Skull Woods big chest.
Yes, possibly. And it's $20.
It's not a bad time to check it on your way to Thieves Town.
Maybe they'll use that $20 to buy some bombs.
Actually, I don't think $20 buys you bombs. You can need 50. But he does have 50 as well.
Yeah. Now you're just gonna make that shovel check.
I think we already saw that from Problems, and it's just a heart container. Though eLmaGus does elect to actually pick it up. Yeah, all of our runners now are just going over stuff we've already seen. But I think eLmaGus is going to give us our first Pyramid Fairy check now.
Yep. So if we find Eastern Palace Big Key first, it'll be interesting to see how much of the world eLmaGus does without the GT Big Key.
Yeah, it's very tempting to go into Ganon's Tower without the big key, if we can, because it just the chest density there is unmatched. Let's see, does Pyramid Fairy offer us our answer? I don't think he's going to give us that check yet. He's going to go check the first chest of Castle Tower,
Yeah.
which we also have not seen. So eLmaGus is giving us quite a couple chests here that we have not seen yet. Could pay off. Just red goo to start. Alright, does Pyramid Fairy pay off?
Yep.
So, eLmaGus now can finish everything and go into Ganon's Tower, which is likely going to be his path.
Yeah, and hopefully he decides to full clear ice for that third sword upgrade. Doubt he'll ever go to Zora.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I don't think he's going to go mode either, because he is looking for that Ganon's Tower big key. So Problems is just finished up Thieves Town. He has his 6th crystal, so he needs to make that play to Pyramid Fairy.
Yes, could get baited to Turtle Rock. We'll see what he decides to do here.
Well, he does know that Turtle Rock's a pendant.
We'll see where he floats. This could be huge for his race. And it's Death Mountain.
He's gonna go for Turtle Rock, and maybe Hera as well.
Yeah. So unless GT Big Key is in one of these locations, that would kind of save him. But it's looking like this could all be a waste of time.
Unless those pendants are needed.
True, true.
We have no books, so we don't know yet. Or maybe he's not. He's maybe just gonna do Spike Cave.
That'd be weird. Maybe.
Well, you usually save and quit out of here.
Yeah. But going to Mountain Cave.
Yeah, he's gonna check these dungeons.
Yeah.
Which I can't blame him. There's a good number of chests in here. It's just another case where we know where the right option is right now. It could still pay off, though, because we don't know where that GT big key is. But Liminality has finished off Ice Palace. Liminality still has Thieves Town. Also needs to still go up to Death Mountain to get his Fire Rod, though.
Magus doesn't get the quick Armos fights. He's got to do it pleb way.
He also has not picked up his Silver Arrows, so he doesn't get the quick kills on these.
Yeah. It's only $20 on Armos.
That is his 6th crystal, and he can go to Ice now. Now, Problems is electing to do Hera first, which is the green pendant.
Yeah, a little quicker than going all the way back to Laser Bridge, at least.
And where is eLmaGus going?
Ice? And is picking up silvers on the way, or not?
Oh, he could be going to pick up the silvers. That's probably what he's going to do.
Yeah, okay. I forgot that you couldn't go straight south from there.
And Liminality's also making the play into Hera.
I'd say eLmaGus, depending on where the GT Big Key is, eLmaGus could very well be in the lead here.
Now, Problems did find a Castle Tower small key in here, which is another location it could be.
Yeah, just getting dragged all over the place, really. He's got that Sahasrara check he can do now, and then the rest of Castle Tower to do, because I don't think he's gone even in for that first chest, so...
And he is going to go check Tower Room.
Boy. So this is giving Final Form a chance to catch up. Final Form just has to go back to Misery Mire, which he does have the big key for it now. Do Fat Fairy, do Ice Palace, and right back in this race.
eLmaGus is working through Ice Palace's 7th dungeon. Yeah, I think he's taken... I mean, overall 4 runners, he definitely has the lead at this point. Though Problems could easily get that back. But obviously, eLmaGus and Problems aren't playing each other right now.
Yeah, I think if Problems is willing to do Tile Room here, probably going to Turtle Rock. I'd say eLmaGus definitely has an advantage on his opponent Liminality, though.
Tile Room does not pay off. And there goes Problems to Turtle Rock.
Yep, and Liminality's just following in his footsteps. The only difference is that Liminality still has to do Skullwoods and Thieves Town, it looks like.
But Liminality also needs to grab the Fire Rod from up here.
Yeah.
So once he grabs the Fire Rod, that might set him on a different path.
Yeah, hopefully he detours.
Yeah, Problem's path is straight into Turtle Rock right now.
And if he finds a vanilla TR key, he might even decide to finish it. We are still missing Pod Big Key to keep the Ped Dream alive.
We also technically need at least 1 more Turtle Rock small key. They'll likely need 2 more for it to be fully in logic.
So Final Form is making that Meyer play. So this could set him on the right path. I think Magus just got that Tempered Sword.
Yeah, I believe so.
I think that's where it was in here. So Magus is really all set, as long as that GT Big Key just kind of shows up on his way to beating the game. So as long as it's in GT Basement, I'd say Magus has a strong advantage.
And Liminality is probably going to grab this portal, and then we'll see what he chooses to do.
Yeah, for his sake, hopefully does Hookshot Cave, gets Fire Rod, goes to Skull Woods, does Thieves Town, just kind of avoids this altogether.
Final Form is heading to Vitreous. Yeah, no silvers for him yet, so this will be another bit of a long battle. But he has Cape. This won't be that long.
We saw 4 different strats on Vitreous. We saw Burna with dashes, we saw Cape with dashes, we saw Cape with just sword slashing, and Cape with sword spinning. So you got your fill of Vitreous strats today.
Problems doesn't get the timing on that block hit right. Still an impressive hit.
Chain Chomps are just ruining people's days today, as is tradition.
And Liminality is heading into the Hookshot Cave. He will grab his Fire Rod. Now that could drive him into Turtle Rock, or it could drive him to Skull Woods. Hopefully he goes to Skull Woods.
I guess probably gonna have no troubles here with Cold Stare.
And Liminality is also going to make the play into Turtle Rock. But eLmaGus is going to grab his 7th crystal and is likely headed straight to Ganon's tower.
Yeah, I would imagine. It's the highest percentage play. And Final Form cleaning up Ice Palace here, and it really just depends on what Final Form does after this. I mean, if Problems and Final Form might be coming out of their dungeons at about the same time, and if they both do Fat Fairy, they're going to be right on top of each other.
So it's interesting in that these two races, it's kind of coming down to the different things. In the Problems Final Form race, Final Form does not want the GT Big Key to be in Turtle Rock. In the Liminality eLmaGus race, Liminality wants that GT Big Key in Turtle Rock.
Magus is not going to Ganon's tower.
Where is he going?
I have no idea. Catfish?
I guess so.
Yeah, I don't know about this. It's such a low percentage play.
And Proms just found a vanilla Turtle Rock key.
Huh. That's funny.
Actually, he found 2 vanilla Turtle Rock keys.
Really?
One in the big chest, one in the roller room chest there.
So is he gonna go back and do vanilla big key chest? I mean, he's come all this way. It'd be awful if he left that chest alone and that's where the GT big key was.
At this point, the one thing that that Promise does not want to see is the pod big key.
Ugh. Oh, Magus didn't do Zora domain, but still, this is still only 2 locations. We'll see how much of the world he decides he's going to check.
I mean, it's not a bad idea. You're a little nervous about GT. You know it hasn't paid off in the past. But still, It's the big play to do right now. Problems is heading back to Trinex.
Magus does get his butter sword though, so that's nice for him. Okay, now going to Mountain Cave. Hopefully now going into GT, and probably for his sake, not going into Turtle Rock.
But here's a big moment. Does Trinex have something? First two heads go down like butter. All right. What does Trinex have?
$20 maybe? That's my guess. 5, not even 20.
So there's still one chest in Turtle Rock, and I gotta believe Probs doesn't go right back for it.
Yeah. That'd be a nice spot for the GT Big Key, wouldn't it?
Oh man, that I don't know how you feel about that.
Yep, going back in for it. Oh man. I mean, Problems is even still looking for the Eastern Palace Big Key, so this is gonna be really frustrating.
Well, eLmaGus is almost in GT. I know people have been putting their numbers in. 22 chests in Ganon's Tower. Do you think the big key is in there?
There's a few chests outside of Ganon's Tower too, if you're feeling frisky. If you want to go above 22, maybe your favorite number is 23.
Well, a quick thanks to Link to the Past for a Twitch Prime sub. Here we go. eLmaGus is in GT.
There's some of Problems bombs on the torch. Looks like he's gonna do Dark Magician, probably.
We'll see. Another big moment. What is in this chest?
20
bucks.
So TR was a complete waste of time. Literally nothing of value.
Nothing in our first 5 locations, and yes, he's going to go straight right side. Problems, I think, is going to go do a Castle Tower check, but is not going through... Oh, he's changing his mind. I think he realized he's going to check Castle Tower and do Pyramid Fairy. This will get him on track. eLmaGus is making quickly through the torch room. Proms is going to grab his Eastern Palace Big Key here in a minute.
Literally the first thing he does after wasting all that time in Turtle Rock. I can't imagine he's going to be happy. There's a big key. It's vanilla.
That was chest 8. We have a vanilla big key at 1 hour, 33 minutes, 50 seconds. eLmaGus is in go mode.
Huge advantage over everyone else. And I'd say, given where his opponent is, eLmaGus is going to have about 30 Moldorm 2 falls and another 20 Ganon falls.
I think, to check correctly, it was chest 10. So yeah, eLmaGus is in complete control of his race. Problems is likely going to be in just as good shape, assuming...
Well, Final Form's doing Fat Fairy. So he's going to be right behind.
You are correct.
No, he's not doing Fat Fairy.
Oh.
What's he doing?
He's picking up his silver arrows.
Oh, please do Fat Fairy. Problems is going to be checking some additional chests here for GT Big Key. Okay, Final Form is going to do Fat Fairy now. Okay, we're good. So this could be a close race up top.
Problems doesn't find anything in the second chest of Castle Tower, but I gotta believe he's headed straight to Eastern now.
Magus already done with the gauntlet on land mode 2.
Yeah, assuming Final Form grabs his Eastern Palace Big Key, which looks like he will, and goes straight to Ganon's Tower right after that, this could come down to a decision of left versus right side. This has been a crazy race.
Yeah, this is, I haven't experienced one like this before.
I mean, there's been so much divergence, so much checked, and we still have a really close race here that could come down. It's going to likely come down to GT.
It's most amazing to me because eLmaGus was pretty much behind the whole race, it felt like. But then just made the right decisions in the late game and took over the lead quite easily.
Yeah, absolutely. Unfortunately for Liminality, he put off that fire rod for so long. The Titan's Miss, I believe, eluded him for a while. He just didn't make the right gambles where eLmaGus did.
eLmaGus already on Mulderm 2.
And, yeah, Final Form is heading straight into Eastern. He's going to be maybe a minute or so behind Problems. And, I mean, I think Jet just even said this. After eLmaGus stuns between that top race, those two are going to get really nervous quick.
Yep. And Pod Big Key was in the validation chest. So not even hope of pedestal check for that.
And Problems has finished Eastern. He should be heading straight up to Ganon's Tower after this. eLmaGus is taking on Aga 2. Ooh, misses on the third cycle there. And gets it in 4.
Problems is going to be making that dip into GT.
Meanwhile, eLmaGus is headed to Ganon with gold sword, silver arrows. This is going to go fast.
A little low on hearts, but it shouldn't matter.
I believe he does have a red potion if needed.
Or just walks right into Ganon to start the fight.
That actually isn't a bad idea, because he'll get a good health refill here.
This is a strategy. It's basically a death warp, everyone. Just calm down.
And Final Form is finishing off Armos Knights. He's going to be about 2 minutes behind Problems. eLmaGus is making really quick work again. He's already on phase 3. Problems is going into GT. The question here is this. Which side does Problems go first? He's starting on the right. Will he stick with it? He's
GT play.
And he is going right side. He's going to get his GT key here quick.
eLmaGus finishing off Ganon. Very nice run from eLmaGus and with an incredible time.
And eLmaGus has finished in first place with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 40 minutes, and 35 seconds. And Problems is about to grab his GT big key. For Final Form to have a chance now, he needs to go right side.
Yeah, and then he's going to need a fall from Problems somewhere here. Even a bunch of small execution mistakes probably aren't going to be enough. And they've probably both seen the dot done, so they likely think they're behind. I mean, Problems did TR and it was useless, and Final Form got mitts incredibly late. So neither of them thinks they're ahead here. And Final Form is starting out.
But Final Form starting on the right side here. Which will he stick with the right side? Yeah, he's sticking right side. So these runners are separated roughly 2 minutes. It is likely going to need a fall, but this race is going to come down to the wire. You know, we are seeing if we can get eLmaGus in here for an interview. As Liminality just finished up Skull Woods. Needs to go into Thieves Town and then go to Eastern to finish up the seed. We'll be getting eLmaGus here in a minute for an interview. Problems is working on Land Mola 2. Final Form is in the first of the Mimic Rooms. This is a dramatic finish between two 4-0 runners. Reminder what's on the line here. Whoever finishes first between Problems and Final Form is automatically in the bracket. The other has to face next week's tiebreaker race. And we have eLmaGus joining us here in chat now. GG, eLmaGus.
Hey, thanks.
So, how was that seed for you?
I was scared the whole time, but not because, it was like complicated or anything, but because it was so straightforward. That was really scary. I mean, I couldn't really feel bad about anything I did, honestly, and at the same time, though, at one point I had like 4 dungeons left and only needed like 2 items, and I was like, okay, you have to pick right now, or, things could go badly. When all of those dungeons had nothing, I was pretty confident I was ahead, honestly, because, yeah, I felt like that was pretty good overall. And then my plan was, for the end, for the GT Big Key, I was going to open left side, right side, and then bail out and go into a pendant dungeon. So I am really happy that that key was on the right side, honestly, because otherwise, if it was like in another chest in GT, that would have probably been very bad for me. So yeah, sometimes lucky, I suppose.
Yeah. You lucked out by not going to Turtle Rock, which had nothing.
Yeah.
I also think Kara had nothing too.
Yeah, it seemed like the biggest problem that you had was bombs early on. That was what really set you back. That set you back at the beginning. You were actually behind for most of the early game and even mid game, but then you made the better mid game decisions and pretty much destroyed everybody.
All right.
Yeah, I didn't feel too bad about that though, honestly. Like, I mean, I knew what I was getting into when I didn't like do any Hulun or something like that, so I was okay with taking that risk and being behind by a little bit. I know that in Keysanity, early game doesn't really matter that much. Of course, it's always bad to lose time, but overall, the race is won at the end of the game, pretty much always.
Yeah. So, just to kind of update chat, we've got Problems now going into the Ganon fight. Final Form is going into Moldorm 2. If Final Form wants to catch up, he needs a fall from Problems here. Final Form has just taken down Moldorm 2, and Problems is on Phase 2 of Ganon. Ooh, this top race is really gonna be down to the wire. Problems is on Phase 3. Sorry, sorry, eLmaGus. We'll come back to you in a minute. We just want to see how this race finishes.
That's completely fine.
So, Final Form is on Aga 2. Problems is in the final phase of Ganon.
Yeah, he's gotten through the trolliest parts. Doesn't get the torch glitch. Shouldn't make a big difference here. One arrow away. And cleans it up easily.
We will get you Problems official time here in a minute. And Problems is finished in second place, first to the top race with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 47 minutes, and 30 seconds. And he will probably be right back. He needs a quick break.
So, Magus, you were given both mitts and hammer before even going into Dark World. How did that kind of shape your Dark World strategy?
That was honestly making it very simple because, well, I mean, you have everything unlocked, right? So you just go from A to B, and then you have everything. I was just planning to clear all overworld locations at that point because I had no restrictions, honestly. The thing is, I did get like 5 pot keys within like 5 minutes, so I was like, okay, let's head over there first, and then do the rest of the overworld, you know. But overall, that was just my general strategy from there because in Keysanity, more often than not, you have to check most of the locations, so I was like, yeah, might as well like do it as efficient as possible at this point, like ignore dungeons for a little bit and then do that stuff first.
Yeah, doing pot really helped you out because you got the Thieves Town big key, so when you did go to West Dark World, you were able to pretty much do everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Liminality, unfortunately, didn't get Fire Rod early on. So ended up getting Fire Rod at like 1 hour and 30 minutes or something. Never went back up to Dark Death Mountain.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, we were worried because everyone got Moon Pearl first, and then we thought, well, some people might get mitts, and some people might get the hammer and the gloves, and then just never check Agana or never check Hera.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what happened to Final Form. Final Form got mitts super late. So it was very interesting. It was lucky that you kind of went back to Agana's cave when you did.
Actually, that wasn't lucky. See, here's the thing. The flute in Escape, which gave us access without the power glyph to the mountain, was in the second chest in Escape, right? And that chest is locked by the Hyrule Castle key, and we didn't have that.
True.
So I knew that Agana's cave had to have gloves or something else that unlocks something.
Just a quick update. Final Form has finished with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 49 minutes, 13 seconds, which is about a minute 43 seconds behind Problems.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't think of that. Of course, I don't play a ton of Keysanity, but Final Form had kind of realized that he wouldn't have gotten trolled by those glove upgrades in Agnes Cave.
By the way, Final Form is not going to join us for an interview, but will drop in chat. And looks like he's already there. Also, just to answer something in chat, Problems timer is controlled by him. We don't have control to stop that.
So Liminality should be finishing up Eastern here, and then hopefully goes right to Ganon's Tower. Megas, is there a reason you decided to do Catfish Zora domain? Is that just kind of cleaning up a somewhat high density location before going to GT?
Yeah, just cleaning up, just so I have it off my mind, because there was like, if I only had GT left, I would ignore it, but I had like 2 pendant dungeons left, and I was like, I don't want to have this on my mind all the time, so let's just clean it up right now, so I don't have to worry. The GT big key can be there. It's very unlikely at the point where I was at, but you know, just like get it out of my head, and then, you know, focus on what's left over. I pretty much knew there was nothing there, honestly, but yeah.
Yeah, there were actually 2 TR small keys in Turtle Rock, so that probably helped keep people away from it.
Wow, 2? That's pretty nice.
I think they were both in the back, too.
Wow, okay.
Not on Laser Bridge. It's the 2 chests before, I think the big chest, and then the roller chest right after that.
Wow.
Yeah, it's an interesting place for him to be.
Yeah, that baits you even further into the dungeon too if you go through it. Dang.
Yeah, that's what made the Problems Final Form race so close. Problems full cleared Turtle Rock, and Final Form just had some routing problems early on thanks to those mitts trolling him. So it kind of evened up the race. Is this your fastest Keysanity time though? This is like incredibly fast.
No, it's not my fastest time, but it's very close. It could have been my fastest time if the GT Vicky were somewhere else, but my fastest time is like a 1:36 or something. It's still amazing because, like, I mean, I said it earlier, you're very, very scared when everything goes right in this mode because, you know, I'm usually a player that is very thorough and likes to check everything in Keysanity, but some players also ignore a location here and there. And in this seed, if you did that, you could have had a really amazing time, honestly. But that's why it's so scary. But it worked out in the end for me, fortunately.
And we are now joined in here with ProblemsIRL. GG, Problems.
GG, thank you.
You did the full Turtle Rock tour and still pulled out a win.
Oh wow, Final Form didn't go?
Nope.
I felt so behind after that.
Yeah, Final Form was trolled by Agnes Cave.
Oh, damn. Yeah, that makes sense.
So basically, you just kind of made the race nice and close by doing full TR. Yeah, it seemed like you holding off on Pod was kind of, other than doing Turtle Rock, leaving Pod until later was what kind of slowed you down.
Yeah, I don't know. It gave me all those. I usually, you know, my policy is to go, quote unquote, policy is to go to Pod once I have 3 keys. But then suddenly I had all 6, and I was like, yeah, I might as well wait until I get the bow or the big key, and they just wouldn't show up. So that came kind of back to bite me.
The Pod Big Key was in I don't remember if you checked it, but it was in Validation Chest.
No, I didn't check that.
But yeah, that's the reason maybe you did TR too, right? Because if you had Thieves Town Big Key from Pod sooner, you may have done Fat Fairy quicker. Or actually, no, you could have done the Fat Fairy before TR.
I could have done the Fat Fairy, yeah, but at that point I had Hera and most of T-Rock open, and that's just more item density. So I decided to go there. Like I just went up the mountain because there was a total of like 14 items, whereas Fat Fairy plus Catfish would have been 3. So
Just to give a quick update on Liminality, he is in Gan's Tower. He did elect to go right, so he will get his GT Big Key here pretty quick. I think eLmaGus was the only one who went to the left.
Yeah, the Dark Magician strategy.
Rip.
So how did that open to the seed field for both of you? Because you both got a ton of items early, but very little of them you could actually use.
yeah, pretty much. Like I didn't really know what to make of this seed. Like first off, this seed completely wrecked my opening route with like, you know, mirror and library, and then I go up to Kakariko and find the boot, so I have to go back to the library. And then the forest had a bottle, at which point I didn't want to go back to the village. But yeah, for the most part it was a weird one because, like you said, there wasn't very much to do. And like even Eastern was, I think, you know, reasonable this seed to dip early, and that ended up being empty. It was a weird one. Once those gloves came around in Agnes Cave, which is generally a pretty annoying spot to have an item, but once those gloves came around, it felt fairly straightforward. But pre-gloves was pretty awkward.
Yeah, it gave you like 4 items or something like that that didn't unlock anything.
Yeah, exactly.
They're all late game items, but then at least it gave you mitts and hammer, so you could route Dark World fairly easily. Yeah, you guys had like item go mode at like sub 1, I think. Like it was incredibly fast item go mode, and it was the flippers and mire, I think, for everyone.
Yeah, I had all items except for the flippers, like after like what 40 minutes, and I was like, okay, this is weird. What do I do now?
Yeah, it's almost the more generous seeds that trip you up more than the restrictive seeds, because the restrictive seeds, as much as it's hard to go through, you at least know where to go.
Yeah, like once you got those, though, that hammer and the mitts, the seed was really open. Like there was a time at which I was able to clear like 3 dungeons at once. You know, Desert, Mire, and Ice Palace. And it went fairly open, and then all 3 dungeons ended up having almost nothing, if I remember correctly.
Just
So we were kind of back to square one. Yeah.
And then, of course, the Tempered Sword in Ice Palace. In fact, you were the first one to get that, and it was fairly early since your sequence broke Ice Palace. Is there a reason you decided to sequence break into Ice Palace before doing the other stuff?
I don't know. I always go to Ice Palace early. It's my thing.
I was about to say.
I was like,
that's
oh,
just-
I can clear. I was like, oh, I can clear Ice Palace. Let me go to Ice Palace.
And how did it feel being without a sword for so long, eLmaGus?
That's pretty normal, so that wasn't really, like, I felt bad about that. I kind of wanted the sword because I had, like, Skullwoods right there waiting for me, but other than that, it didn't feel, like, weird or anything. Pretty used to it by now, honestly.
Yeah, everyone had Master Sword, and then you didn't get a sword upgrade for like 10 minutes or so. It was kind of funny.
Yeah. I guess it's just because I did things probably the other way around than from what they did, so...
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's pretty standard, honestly.
Yeah, I think we made the joke during the race that like the first half hour or so we didn't see any swords, and then within a sequence of maybe 15 minutes we knew where all 4 swords were.
Dang.
Yeah, Liminality was the first one to go to Zora.
Getting that sword in Ice Palace felt pretty good, especially considering nothing else was good in there. You know, because an early sword can be a huge advantage. Especially, I was kind of hoping that I was the only one that had tempered for Vitreous.
Yes.
But then eventually I would go to Zora, and I was like, oh no, that's such an easy sword. Somebody definitely found that.
It was interesting. Everyone did Vitreous a little bit differently. It was kind of interesting. We had spin strats with cape. We had spamming sword slashes with cape. And then we had a cape dash strats and burn a dash strats. So it's kind of fun.
So, Problems, you're now 5-0. You're definitely guaranteed a spot in the brackets. How do you feel going into that?
Oof, I feel like I'm the worst player in 5-0, to be honest. I think there's even people in 4-1 that are better than me.
Fortunately, most of them are getting eliminated.
Yes, that is actually pretty nice to know. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't really put in too much practice for the tournament. Like basically for the fall tournament, I did 3 runs per day. As practice, and I didn't even make it to 2 groups, so I decided to take it a bit slower for this tournament, and I pretty much only did 1 run per week. So I wanna step it up a little bit with the practice for this upcoming bracket, because I really feel like I'm outclassed by a lot of the people in 5-0, but I hope I can at least make it past the first round.
That's a good focus to have. It's going to be a really tough bracket. Meanwhile, eLmaGus, you're heading into the tiebreaker race that's going to be this upcoming Saturday. How do you feel?
I'm not gonna win that, obviously, against like 50,000 other people that are better than me. Easy. Easy. No, I mean, going into a race like that, you can't have really... I mean, I'm gonna do the best things I can do, obviously, but like... You can't expect to win. Like... So, I'm not, like, having any ambitions or anything like that. Whatever happens, happens. But, yeah, we'll see. There is at least, like, 5 people that I could already tell you that are better than me, that are 4-1, so... We'll see how that goes. Gotta get lucky. I'm gonna take a couple risks I usually wouldn't, probably. Because I believe it's one spot, right?
Correct.
Oh, man. That's even better. Yeah, so you gotta take, like, some sort of risk to win that race. Like... Gotta go crazy, gotta go nuts, and usually when I do that, that doesn't work out, so I'm not too hopeful, but we'll see, we'll see. I'm excited, it's fun, it's a really fun thing to do, or participate in, so I'm looking forward to that, at least, so should be good, should be good.
GG to Liminality, who finished with a time of 2:02.24, and I think we're bringing Liminality in right now. We're joined by Liminality. GG Liminality.
Hi, thanks.
You got a little bit trolled by, I think Mitts were a little late for you, and then Fire Rod was kind of the...
Oh no, I got trolled by myself by not marking that I had the Thievestown big key.
Oh, that's why. We were kind of wondering, you had Schoolwoods and Thievestown, and you were doing, like, Turtle Rock and stuff. Okay, so that's why.
Yeah, granted, I'm pretty sure even if I had done that, I would have maybe only shaved 5 minutes off of my time, but still.
Yeah, this seed gave you guys a lot early. Just how did you feel about it in that early stages?
Yeah, admittedly, up until trying to find what I thought were the last 3 big keys, I was okay with this seed, all things considered.
Yeah, like you were saying, I didn't realize it until I'd thought it out, but not knowing you have the Thievestown big key basically locked you off of the Eastern Palace big key as well. So, yeah, it's unfortunate.
Yeah, I'm going to have to watch the restream later or the recording later to just see when did I pick that up so I know how long did I have it and not realize it.
Whenever you did pod.
Fair enough.
Yeah, you would have gotten it along with Ether and the bow, probably at the same time you got all that stuff.
Yeah, it looks, just looking back on this, it looks like you had to dip into every dungeon except for Turtle Rock.
Great.
Problems double dipped it, basically. You went back in for the vanilla big key chest, right?
No.
Oh, I
No,
thought you
never
did.
I never found the big key. That was in. Didn't you guys say that was in validation?
Yeah,
I
that's
thought-
where the pot one was.
No, I thought you went back into Turtle Rock.
Oh yeah, I double dipped it for
yeah.
the lava room chest because Turtle Rock had 2 small keys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, another item that got you for a while, Liminality, was the fire rod. Was it just you were putting off Dark Death Mountain as long as you could, or why did it take you so long to get up there?
I think it was a mix of just, okay, I can't clear Turtle Rock if I need to go. I can't get all the chests in there, but I can clear this dungeon, so let's clear that. Okay, I can clear this dungeon, so let's go clear that. And Pod having as many chests as it did for my dip into there ended up, I think, causing me to start doing that chain.
Yeah, since Fire Rod didn't really lock anything, it was pretty easy to do this entire seed without it, since you had Bombos for Ice Palace. I think Mothula had like a big 20 or a map or something.
Yeah, I will say it was at least nice finding where all 3 of the pendants were relatively quickly, at least.
Yeah, it's generally a nice thing to have in these seeds because it helps you figure out your routes a little bit better. So, unfortunately, you're not going to be advancing to the tiebreaker race. How do you feel that your Keysanity tournament experience went?
Honestly, I was expecting 1 and 4 at best. So, honestly, being this close to getting to that tiebreaker was amazing for me.
Yeah, it's going to be a crazy tiebreaker race next week. We've got eLmaGus and IsntEvenMyFinalForm will both be in that race along with as many as 30 other racers. But, I mean, yeah, it's also very good to just get to 3 and 2, just have that experience from this tournament, potentially going into the next one. To have a good record like that's got to be a confidence booster.
Yeah, though how I do in daily races makes me feel otherwise.
All right, so we'll wrap this up here. Any final words from any of the racers?
I just want to say eLmaGus and IRL, congrats and good luck in the tiebreaker race.
Thanks. I'll need it.
Yeah, with that, we will wrap up the broadcast here. I think our race schedule is pretty much done. Don't have much else. I think there might be one other race going on right now. But beyond that, next weekend is the tiebreaker race. Actually, no. Sorry, this is our last race for today. So this is the last race of the Swiss round of the Keysanity tournament. So next Saturday, I believe, is the tiebreaker race, which will have about 30 different people in it. That will be a crazy one to watch. Keep an eye on the schedule for that. And then after that, we will have the bracket stage the following week. So I just want to give a quick shout out to our trackers, Dragon Strike 1988 and Gloin, or not Gloin, sorry, Gloin is our co-commentator. Quick shout out to Dragon Strike 1988 and Philian for tracking. Thanks to Fiesel for restreaming, and thanks to Gloin for working with me here today. Gloin, I'll let you finish us off.
Yep, thanks for commentating with me, JP, and thanks to the racers. Make sure to give them all a follow on on Twitch, and look forward to the race next Saturday. Thanks, everyone.
All right, Evan, have a good day.